pride in my work. They took it away. Pissed on my legacy.
Oh man, some jobs ain't for saving.
Rockstar's games are controversial for a reason, not just because of violence, not just because of crime, but because they ask a dangerous question. Who are you when there are no consequences? The games don't judge you, they just give you freedom, and then they watch what you do with it. This is the WaaGriever Show, where each week I'm looking at the DNA of Red Dead Redemption 2 and seeing what might cross over into GTA 6. There's a moment in Red Dead Redemption 2 that really stands out. It's the moment when you're standing in front of a campfire holding a slave ledger in your hands, and the game just quietly asks, what kind of person are you? That's environmental storytelling at its most dangerous. Rockstar have always been good at spectacle. Big maps, great. Big missions, amazing. Big set pieces, great to look at. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is where they fully commit to something slower, darker, and honestly more confident, letting the world do the talking. Environmental storytelling, it's not just about cutscenes, it's about the implication.
Because of the implication.
It's about walking into a space and feeling like something's happened before you even arrived. And nowhere does Rockstar flex this harder than the Jeremiah Compson mission. On paper, this is a nothing mission. You're not robbing a bank, you're not escaping the law, there's no bombastic score kicking in, you're just looking around. But the moment you step into Compson's house, something feels off. The house isn't dramatic, it's not obviously villainous, it's decaying, stagnant, frozen in time, and then you start finding things. Old photographs, letters, and eventually shackles. No one ever says this man's evil, the environment does. You're piecing together a story that Compson himself refuses to acknowledge. He talks like he's the victim, like history just didn't work out for him. Then you find the ledger.
Somewhere near This your ledger? A list of slaves?
This is where Rockstar stops being clever and starts being bold. The ledger isn't just a prop, it's not a collectible, it's evidence. Names, prices, human beings being reduced to numbers. You can turn it in and give it back to him, you can keep it, or you can burn it. Now, obviously my choice is to burn the ledger, not because the game rewards me for it, not because it gives me better honor, but because it just feels right. Burning the ledger doesn't erase history, it doesn't undo what Compson did, but it denies him the one thing he's clinging to, control over the narrative. He wants to be remembered as a victim of a changing world. Burning the book says, no, you don't get to keep this motherfucker. And then there's the final choice. You don't have to kill him, but, well, you know, this guy's a real son of a bitch, so... And in that moment when I shot him, I didn't realize he was going to just fall on the fire and burn. I mean, it's... Even though I'm killing, a slave owner, it still feels uncomfortable. It's not heroic, it's not cinematic, it's messy, slow, awkward. And again, it's not the game telling me to do this. This is just something I did in the heat of the moment. That is agency. Not do this to be good, do this to be bad, or branching dialogue trees. Just you, the fire, and the consequences. This is something Rockstar's been moving towards for years. Earlier games gave you chaos, later games gave you responsibility. Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't want to judge you, it just asks, are you paying attention? Because the world is watching how you move through it. And that same philosophy bleeds directly into combat. Let's rewind a bit. Early Rockstar games, combat is messy by design. Punching someone in GTA 3 is basically two animations slamming together. There's no weight, there's no rhythm. It's violence as a tool to cause chaos, not express character. And that worked because, the tone was anarchic. GTA 4 is where weight kind of entered into the equation. It's the first time where Rockstar's saying if you punch someone, it's going to look like it actually hurts.
Let's see a little blood.
Fist fights have momentum. People stumble. They grab each other. Nico doesn't fight like a superhero, he fights like a tired old man who's done this before. GTA games have always had weapons, but when you add a level of fidelity, then those weapons, they actually start making it a lot more graphic and they have a lot more weight to them. Red Dead Redemption 2 is where Rockstar fully figures out hand-to-hand combat. Fist fights are not just animations, they're conversations. You grab, you shove, you slam someone into a wall, mud sticks to you, snow might slow you down, tables break. The environment's not just a backdrop anymore, it's a weapon, it's an environment that you're fighting in, it's an arena. And knife fights, well, I mean, they're horrifying. There's no flourish, you lock up, you struggle, you hear breathing. Arthur doesn't stab like a trained assassin, he fights for space. And this is the key difference. This isn't power fantasy violence, this is survival violence. Every moment feels deliberate and it mirrors the environmental storytelling perfectly. Rockstar games, they're telling the same story through systems. The environment is saying this place remembers, this place has history, this place has a story. And the combat adds to that history. You don't just clear rooms, you leave marks. I mean, look at this puddle of blood just lying on the floor. And I do wonder, I might actually come back here and see if these guys are still here and if their bodies decompose. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there is that level of detail. Maybe there is, but I'll definitely have a look. But the combat, you know, you can knock someone out, you can choke them, you can stab them. The game never labels one as correct. Just like the Ledger and burning the slave owner in the fire, Rockstar aren't asking you to roleplay morality, they're asking you to reveal it. So if this is the trajectory, then GTA 6 isn't going to be about more violence, it's going to be about more meaning, more context, more consequence, more moments where the game steps back and says, we're not telling you who this character is, you are. Environmental storytelling, it's not lore, it's trust. Trust that the player is going to notice. Trust that they're going to think about it. Trust that they'll sit with uncomfortable choices. Burning a ledger, burning a human, standing in silence there like a badass afterwards and not giving a fuck. That's Rockstar at their most controversial. Not loud, not flashy, just quietly asking you, what are you capable of?
All right, that should do it.